Is there going to be a delay to the distribution of Social Security checks, which may include retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, spousal, SSI, VA, and RRB, as well as what does this mean for food stamps or the SNAP benefit program for about 42 million people? These are really good questions, and what I want to focus on for you here in this video, as we are yet again in a very precarious situation. We are right down to the wire on this, and this comes up literally every single time. This whole talk about the delay of the delivery of payments for over 70 million people that receive benefits administered by Social Security. So I want to focus on that for you here in this video because, again, we're right down to the wire. They're milking the clock on this thing, and I would not be shocked yet again if we get into the danger zone right down to the last minute before lawmakers come together and actually do something about this, as this is actually a very, very, very serious situation, and it could impact people in a major, major way. And that's what I want to focus on. However, I want to give a quick shout out to I Love Homemaking, who reached out to this team of trusted advisors and left a comment down below. They had a great conversation with this team of trusted advisors, just like the other nearly 3,000 of you here in this community that have made that call. This team, again, has access to 20,000 Medicare plans. Again, supplement plans, Medigap plans, Part D plans, Medicare Advantage. And if you are initially enrolling into Medicare, they can help with that as well. But anyway, they're going to look through the plans, find you the best plan with the best coverages, and hopefully save you a boatload of money, just like a lot of people here in this community that are saving on average $1,100 from a simple 5, maybe 10, 15, maybe 20-minute phone call to give them a call. And here's the best part. It is 100% for free. Give them a call if you've not done so yet. Again, if you're on Medicare, one of the 70 million people out there, this is by far your best resource. Please do yourself a huge favor, give them a call, and after you talk to them, have a great conversation just like I Love Homemaking. That's the name of somebody that reached out in the comment section. Again, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. After you have a great conversation, leave a comment down below and make sure to leave the word chapter in your comment, because that's how I find these comments, by the way. I search by that keyword in the comment section, and I will give you a shout out and feature you in an upcoming video. All right, anyway, let's talk about delayed payments. This is a major concern for a lot of people, and I want to focus on this for you. Okay, so just the other day, I was out in a separate video talking about the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, right? Some remarks out of him and where we're currently at. Well, here's the situation. This happens like once every year and a half, 2 years or so, and we're right down to the wire again. Basically what it is, the Treasury is running out of money. Okay, this sounds ridiculous, but this is the situation. The Treasury and the federal government operates just like you and me. They operate on a much larger scale. We might work with hundreds or thousands of dollars. They work with billions and trillions of dollars. Okay? Point being is that the Treasury, essentially like the account that pays the bills for the federal government, is running dry. It's going to be out of money very soon, okay? Scott Bessent made this very clear just the other day as he reached out to lawmakers. He's making special maneuvers right now to avoid a potential default. Well, when is that going to come? Well, it could happen sometime near the end of July or possibly in August sometime. It's not that far away from right now as we speak, okay? It could be sooner than that. It could be a little bit later than that. They don't know the exact time frame of when the Treasury will be out of money, but that's the situation. Okay, but why do we care? Well, here's the deal. Just like when we talk about a government shutdown, every year we deal with that. This is something different. This is not a government shutdown. This would be a default on the debt of this country. That's not a good thing. Now, if you don't know what that means, let me explain super fast here. Think of our own personal situation, okay? You have a credit card bill, you have an auto loan, you have a mortgage, you have a rent payment, literally doesn't matter, right? You have a payment of some kind. If you can't make the payment, what happens? Well, in the event of a mortgage, if you miss a mortgage payment for multiple months, they start the foreclosure process. If you don't make a rent payment for a month or two, they start the eviction process. If you don't pay your car, your auto loan for a couple months, they repossess the car, right? Same thing. It's called a default. That's literally what happens. The federal government can default as well. We've never defaulted in this country, but we come down to these situations where we become very close to a potential default situation. Okay, why do we care? And how does this pertain to your monthly benefit? Every year, year and a half, 2 years, every time that this situation comes up, this whole potential default situation, this is where it comes in, because there's all this talk every time, and they love to use scare tactics, by the way, like, oh, you better do this, otherwise Social Security checks are going to be delayed. Okay, well, here's the truth behind it. If we default in this country, which we could do, we've never done it in the history of this country before, but if we do, it'd be really, really, really bad. We would lose our credit rating. We would lose the faith and trust of basically allowing people to borrow us money, because we'd lose that credibility, right? Not a good situation. But here's the deal. We're likely not going to default, but if we do, we could do this. It could happen. If we do not raise the debt ceiling, and if they do not appropriate more money to the Treasury to pay the bills for the federal government, we could potentially default. In other words, they don't have the money to pay the bills. We default. We miss payments. Not a good deal. Okay? But anyway, the point is that a lot of times they come forward and say, if we default, we're going to be able to, we'll delay payments, or we would have to stop the distribution of Social Security checks. Now, let me tell you the truth on that. That's actually not true. They love to make these scare tactics and say, oh, if we default, we'll have to stop Social Security. The truth behind that is, no, they won't. No, absolutely not. Okay? There are rules and there are laws in place that safeguard Social Security. Okay? Social Security, all the benefits within. That's the purpose of the trust fund. The trust fund is there like a savings account. The savings account, or the trust fund, has, according to the most recent Social Security Board of Trustees report, as of just a couple weeks ago, when that came out, they found that they still have $2.72 trillion in the trust fund. Point being is that Social Security could literally not collect another dollar, a single penny, in payroll taxes or taxation on benefits or interest on the money in the trust fund. They would still have $2.72 trillion to pay out. And that would take about just under 2 years is about how much it would last, where they could collect $0 and they would still have enough money in the trust fund to pay out all benefits for about 2 years. It's actually a little bit less than 2 years, but that's about how much money they would have to pay out to beneficiaries. Point being is that in the event of a default, there should be no disruption whatsoever to our payments. There should be no delays. There should be no cuts or reductions to our benefits in any way, shape, or form. That's not how this whole thing works. However, if we do default in this country, we would see major problems significantly larger than worrying about a delay to our payment. That'd be like the last of our worries. If we were to default in this country, we would have much bigger issues to worry about at that given moment. Okay, so if you see this out there in the headlines, which I've seen it starts brewing up about right now. Headlines come out and say, oh, we better come up with a solution. Lawmakers better come together and do something. Otherwise, we're going to stop Social Security. That's not true. No. Again, laws and rules that are in place safeguarding Social Security and the beneficiaries, they must, under any circumstances, if the government shuts down, who cares? They still have to pay benefits. If the government defaults, well, I'm not going to say who cares, because that we actually do care. That'd be really bad. We do care. But if that were to happen, you would still get paid, and there would be no disruption. There should be no disruption to your benefit, I should say, right? But here's the deal as well. Rules and laws, although you and me need to follow them, do they need to follow them? That's the big question, because I think there's a lot of times where they're like, laws? What are you talking about? We're above the law, right? Yeah, for you and me, unfortunately, that's not the case. But for them, it's like, well, they're just recommendations, right? It's kind of how they look at it. So anyway, there should be no disruption whatsoever. I know there's all these like headlines and things out there. I see it all the time. Like, I'd say I see a few of these per week that come out suggesting, oh, we're going to see a delay. We're going to see our benefits ended. We're going to see a stopping of Social Security. We're going to see the bankruptcy and the dissolving of Social Security. No, we're not. Social Security is not going anywhere anytime soon. This program is going to be around for a long, long, long time. Many decades in the future would be my anticipation on this. Nothing's going anywhere. They've never missed a payment in about 90 years. Well, almost 90 years. August 14th will be the 90th birthday of Social Security. Okay? They've never missed a payment in almost 90 years. It's not going to happen now this time, okay? So anyway, point being is that if you see this out there in the headlines, if you see anybody else talking about it, saying, oh, you better get ready, there are going to be delays to our benefits, just remember, false. It's not true. No, there will not be any delays whatsoever to our benefits, no matter what happens, okay? And I know it sounds kind of scary. However, let me throw this out there. I mentioned at the beginning of the video, food stamps, SNAP benefits. If we were to go into a default type of situation, then yes, food stamps, SNAP benefits would be impacted after about a month. After about a month of that, then those benefits would be impacted. But again, we would have a much bigger, much larger situation to deal with than worrying about a delay to food stamps after about a month. We would have a major situation on our hands. Make sense? Anyway, I hope this helps you. Just want to clear that for you, clarify for you really quickly in this video. But again, let me give you a quick shout out to I Love Homemaking. That's the name of the person that reached out, by the way. Thank you. I love your name. I Love Homemaking. Connected again with the team of trusted advisors right there with that phone number. They got some of their questions answered. The advisor was very helpful. They were thinking about moving to a different state. The advisor was able to help them consider their options if they were to move, so they can still see the surgeon in that respective area that they want to and what plan options they have. Really good comment. Thank you so much for reaching out. Really appreciate that. But again, join I Love Homemaking and the other 3,000 people that have called that team of trusted advisors. Just talk to them. Bring your list of questions. And again, they have access to 20,000 Medicare plans. And again, it's supplement plans, Medigap plans, Part D plans, Medicare Advantage, or those of you that are enrolling in Medicare for the first time, if you're turning 65 or retiring, they will certainly help you out as well. Take advantage of this free service. Please, do not be like my parents and hack this out on your own. Bad situation, okay? That's what they did. I helped them out with it last year. Major headache situation, major frustration, major confusion. We could have literally jumped on a phone call for 10, 15 minutes, had that conversation, asked all of our questions. Didn't know at the time, right? Didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. That's what's so powerful about this. Call them, bring your list of questions, totally free. They will help you out. And I think you're going to be shocked, just like I Love Homemaking. Very satisfied with that conversation. So again, thank you so much for reaching out. Really appreciate that. And yeah, call them. They'll help you see the doctors you want, the providers you want to see, get the plan that best fits you, the best coverages, the best pricing, the best networks you want to be within, the prescription needs if you have a need all, whatever it happens to be, they'll find all of it for you and present your options, again, totally free. All right, anyway, go ahead and share that phone number as well with your friends, family, social media, neighbors, acquaintances, siblings, neighbors down the street, neighbors down the hall, anybody like that. Go ahead and share that with them as well. Otherwise, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Big subscribe button down below. Please share the video. Big share button down below. Go ahead and like the video. Thumbs up button down below. Check out the nearly 6,000 videos here on the channel in the video library. The popular videos I've hand selected for you down below in the description or popping up on your screen right here, right now. You'll see some videos. Check those out. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy, take care, and I hope I can see you again soon in the next video.